everybody. Hammers in the morning. WMEAD. WMEAD. Hammers in the morning here, everybody. No, it's just me, Rob. How's it going, everybody? Untitled Chapter Dark. With you, as always, is Mr. Tom Connors.
Whoops,
Tom, this is when you say hello. We're coming to you from Shabby Road Studios. With us, as always, is the lovely, vivacious, and ebullient Miss Mecca Random.
Hello.
I need a new adjective for you. I consult my word of the day, toilet paper.
Busby.
And with us is Mr. Yes, Busby. Yeah, this is Mr. Tyler Byershock is with us.
Hey yo.
Yeah, we might have another couple special guests. We don't know yet. We'll see if they get back to us. If they get back to us before we go off the air, we'll add them. We can always do that because that's the way we roll, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I can
absolutely
roll fat.
Rapping Fats Piscopo. Don't stop me now. I'm on a roll. I miss those old Miller Lite ads.
So and then ones where they just spray the women down like in bikinis with beer. Now we're not allowed to laugh at that.
Wasn't one of them right? Not the one just fell freak. The freaking Brie Larson thing. What the TSA agent came up again on Facebook. I'm like, this happened back in what? September.
Last year this time, yeah, or something like that.
Oh, why is this? Why am I seeing this back on my feed now?
Because she needs to make sure people know who she is.
That guy probably doesn't even have a job anymore after like the shutdown in January.
Probably because the same reason that we're so late is mainly because we just didn't have anything to really talk about that much.
Slow news day. It's Wednesday. It's hump day.
Hey.
So yeah, it is a slow news day.
I'm going to pat you on the bottom.
No, Picard. No, we can't do that yet.
Careful, you'll summon Picard.
Oh, yeah, he's always
talk about him too much.
Who knows with him?
He shows up. So
who knows with Picard? I mean, he's the way he rolls.
Apparently, if you're white, you'll never be a lead in one of Jordan Peele's movies.
No, we're going to talk about that first.
Oh, fuck. I saw that.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. I mean, if a white guy said that, Jesus, the entire word will collectively leave them.
What's the exact quote? Because we don't want to misquote him, but we actually do want to misquote him. But
no, that's pretty much all he said. I can't see myself casting a white dude in any of my movies as the lead.
You know what I hear? I hear I hate white people and white people suck and they're not worthy of being in anything because they suck.
If Martin Brest felt that way, we would have gotten Axel Cobretti in Beverly Hills Cop instead of Eddie Murphy. And what I mean by that is if anybody knows the history, Sylvester Stallone was originally cast as Axel, but his name wasn't Axel Foley. It was Axel Cobretti. Now, if that sounds familiar, that's because Sylvester Stallone's like, I can't do all this comedy stuff, but if you guys don't have a problem, I'm going to take all this Cobra stuff and go make my own movie. True story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That Beverly Hills Cop was written specifically for Sylvester Stallone.
Yep.
And,
well, not specifically, but somebody like him in mind, because actually there was quite a few other people at one point who, before Eddie Murphy was involved, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
but yeah, that was supposed to be a big Sylvester Stallone vehicle. But if Martin Brest would have been like, I'm not casting any black dudes in my movie,
Mm-hmm. Would make them the Michael Jackson on Top of the World scene a lot more.
No. You can't stand in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
See.
So Captain April, my hopes that Twilight Zone have already kind of gone down that they're not really doing any original episodes.
Yeah, I didn't have any hope for it in the first place.
I did because I think Jordan Peele's actually a really good director. It just you're not going to do any original concept.
Oh no, I heard only 2 of them are supposed to be remakes. So I've heard. Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, anyway, I'm not Not looking forward to it. I've seen the Twilight Zone. What do I want to see the Twilight Zone for a third or fourth time?
Exactly.
This is the third or fourth time they're doing this. I don't want to see the Twilight Zone again. Okay, come up with an original series, like a horror mystery series. You could do an anthology series, kind of like American Horror Story, where it's something different every season.
Yeah, I'm not a big AHS fan.
Well, I'm just citing that as an example.
I've actually never seen American Horror Story. It just doesn't look that
Hold on,
interesting.
Tom, are we demonetized yet?
We are not.
Probably.
I'm okay with more Twilight Zone. I just original stories, please. Don't keep remaking things.
Phil Flarn. Now
We are
now
actually monetized.
Oh my god. Really?
Oh, okay. Let me get the censor beep ready, just in case. Okay.
That was a long swear.
Fuck off with your demonetization.
Oh, hey. There we go.
You're fired.
Oh, the potty mouth
Are you
on
running
you.
out Morse code?
Slow down. I didn't know humans could
Okay.
swear so fast. But anyway. All right, let's get to the
All right.
real freaking news now that we've wasted a bunch of time. And who really cares about Jordan Peele and his
Stupid racist comments that are socially
Yeah.
acceptable. Ugh, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
he'll get away?
wait. Don't. Damn it. I told you guys to really calm down with that. Okay. Yeah, get us in trouble.
I'm a
Article
big Michael
13.
Key fan.
Hey, CD Horde, how's it going? What about an iceberg? Eric Kelly, RVL480, Chris Persia, Captain April, Joker 79, Alex, Valor Omega, Sister Haro. Hey, that's a new name. I haven't seen that name.
I like it.
How's it going? I like it, Sister Haro. Tim on Flip, Scarecrow 2311, CD Horde. Everybody, welcome. Glad you're spending some time with us.
Okay, now we'll actually start the show.
Yeah.
So, if you have been under a rock all day long, you may not have seen the supposed leak of a possible Star Wars Episode 9 trailer. I'm not buying it.
Trailer or
I'm sorry, poster. Jesus effing.
I kind of buy it.
Tom, what do we?
It looks like those red stormtroopers are fake. It looks like they're fake to me, but I don't know.
I don't care. I just don't care anymore. Okay?
I know.
I don't care. This is not. But right on my Cosmic Book News, it's actually there's a picture of Karen Gillan. I'm more interested in that.
What's the context?
Karen Gillan gets covered up in Jumanji sequel.
Oh.
Sophie Turner working with Bryan Singer for X-Men. Just Sophie Turner working with Bryan Singer for X-Men.
Getting turned on by Bryan Singer. What?
Oh wow. Let me share this. Cosmic Book News has this. Don't make me beep you again. So.
Oh, beep you.
Go beep yourself.
So I can tell you why this poster's fake. It doesn't include any legacy characters. It is probably
probably why it's real.
Oh, no, no Chewie in there.
Well, no, they have to put the legacy characters on because nobody's going to watch the piece of shit movie without them. That's why they had to bring Luke Skywalker back.
Well, Rose Tico is missing too. Did you notice that?
Fuck Rose Tico.
Oh yeah, there's no. Oh look, we have an older, and this actually kind of matches the outfit that was taken in that picture of Poe Dameron. Yes, in that last day picture.
It looks like a lot of
have
stuff, like that weird alien guy and.
Okay, is this? Do you think this is Kerry Russell right here in the purple?
The Kerry Russell's costume, I did see something on. I don't know if that is her, but she was talking about her costume.
Yeah, you have Chewbacca way in the back over here.
Oh, he's second class citizen.
Got his gun.
The pet. He's the pet.
Yeah, he's the pet. Yeah, Chewbacca's got the bowcaster, so that doesn't make sense.
Wookiee rights matter.
That does not make sense at all.
3PO.
What's that?
Wookiee lives matter.
Yeah. Yes, Wookiee lives do matter. For God's sake. That's why United Bank of Scotland. Just get rid of this.
And if they're right, we're getting another stupid little droid. Looks,
Also, I'll take it that the Michael Burnham looking character in the background is the one that we heard that's going to be the new perfect character from like the casting choices.
Who's supposed to be like Billy D. Williams' daughter or something, or Lando's daughter or something.
Ray with the man bun over here.
The one thing I want to mention about her is, isn't that basically the same outfit that Natalie Portman had in episode 2?
Yep.
Pretty much. Except she had longer sleeves.
Yeah, there were people comparing it to that when that first leak came out a while back of all the characters.
It's too late. I don't care anymore. I don't care.
I just don't.
I don't. It's exhausting now. It really is. I never thought I would say to myself, I am tired of Star Wars, but I am tired. I am so tired of Star Wars. That's how tired I am.
Yeah, they really screwed the pooch on it.
Okay, I don't want to see. I don't want to look at this anymore. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay.
All Nell Carrie Russell says is that she has a really cool costume, so that could be her because it looks like about the body type. And
look at Billy D though with the same cape and shirt from Force Awakens, not from Solo. Look, Solo happened. It still happened. We have to look. We want to make sure it happened. We want to remind you that it still counts. Really? Yeah, how much Solo counts? That much, okay? Okay, I found a new toy. I'm beating that to death, okay?
Okay.
Oh, she's got a bow? This one, Jenna, she's got a bow? Really? People are using bows and arrows.
In outer space.
In the Star Wars universe.
Well, why
in
not?
outer space.
We can't hit anything worth a shit.
Well, Ewoks use spears, why not?
Yeah, and the Ewoks won that fucking battle.
Primitive culture too, though.
They're primitives. Even the freaking Gungans could build force fields, and they were described as primitives. They have force fields, and they have the blue like nards of doom that they would throw and everything. You know. Damn it. I freaking someone another YouTuber, I'm not going to mention his name, was describing Poe as looking like Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
Kinda.
I
think
don't
we
give a
said
shit
that when we first looked at those. Yeah.
I don't give a shit anymore. I really don't.
We need to make a new jingle thing, Rob, like you stupid dick, but instead it's who fucking cares. Just do a nice little.
Yeah. That's kind of how we are with Alliance.
Yeah, we'll do it like in harmony, but instead with just saying.
Hold on, wait a minute. The Disney's they found us. They found us. They found us. We're talking bad about Star Wars. They're listening. No. Oh, our mouse overlord. We love Star Wars. We all love Star Wars, don't we?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, we are devoted to the series.
Take the redhead. We don't need her.
Yes, the redhead could like fight all of Disney and win.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at the bottom of that poster. They got enough redheads.
Red stormtroopers. Well, you know, that would be one of their moves to get you to buy more stormtrooper action figures.
Well, those are
but
the
I don't have
ones.
the red ones.
Yeah, those are the female stormtroopers they're talking about. I found an article from a few days ago that they're like, oh no, we want inclusion and diversity and female stormtroopers and representation again.
Okay, I don't want to defend them too much, but to be fair, the Empire never seemed to be that much against gender. It was always about xenophobia, so whatever. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah,
but really, I'm trying to think of the last time I remember seeing a female officer or anything like that in Star Wars.
Mothma, but
no, that's in the bad side, on the bad guys.
Not in movies, but in the expanded material, there were hundreds of them, and I can live with that.
Well, the idea is of it. There. When was the last time you saw a female? Well, there were them, but when did you ever see a female Nazi in the
in the
Indiana
Ilsa?
Jones.
Well, to be fair, the funny
Yeah,
thing is
and
the Nazi
Ilsa?
ideology was very hypocritical. Where it's like we're not that much for women, but then they kind of stepped on their own rules. So yeah.
We need them to reproduce, and that's all.
they lit, you know who had them literally in birthing homes, giving birth to the master race.
To make
But they're
little
also-
mouselings.
But there
That's
also
it.
were aggressive people like was it Irma Grease and Ilsa Cox, so they also had some high-ranking roles too.
But the idea is that all the foot you pretty much just saw all the foot soldiers though in the Alden Third Ehrenreich and then the
Now we're demonetized.
we are
Yeah.
for what?
For speaking out. Yo.
I've been checking
The mouse.
periodically, and we've been green until now. Now we're yellow. Good
What?
job.
Breaking news! Midnight Edge After Dark has been demonetized. For more on this, let's go to Tom Connors.
YouTube sucks.
YouTube is really shitty this last 2 weeks. Ever since they changed that algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah, the main channel's been feeling it too.
I don't know what
I know Jeremy's been Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers was saying he was getting hit, and
freaking Gary over at Nerdronic got hit.
Yeah, we
all know about
that.
that.
Well, that was with a strike, yeah. But I mean, we're just talking about the algorithm in general.
Oh, Captain April. Oh, you had to mention. Oh, yeah, the porn parody of the.
I was
Yeah.
talking about that, but you
No,
guys are like, no, don't do
Well,
that.
you know how weird that is in the 70s? Like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna make a porn parody of that evil woman that was called the Witch of Buchenwald. Yeah, that's that happened.
But it's kind of still a fantasy.
How
though.
curious.
Yeah, no, I can't ever get over how strange that was. You don't see porn parodies of Dr. Mengele. Or was there? I don't even.
Well, there actually might be, because here's the thing: they people do have these sort of fantasies, these like domination fantasies. They want to see stuff that they want the taboo, they want the weird and the obscure. So yeah, I think there probably are.
Says so,
Did you-
mistress.
there was an episode of 2.5 Men where Charlie, one of Charlie's exes, hooked up with Alan. And Alan was trying to pass himself off as
Greta.
Charlie.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Greta, yeah. And he was doing it for a while, but and he goes, you don't have me fooled. You're not Charlie. He goes, I know Charlie. I dated Charlie for 3 months. And they went into the bedroom, and she comes. She has all the Nazi paraphernalia on, and Charlie he wakes up with the mustache in the morning. Charlie's like, you met Greta, didn't you? Yeah, I did. And he's looking in the mirror. You know what? It's too bad about this mustache, because this is a really good look for me. So I'm like, oh man, that was like one of the few times I actually groaned at 2.5 Men. I was like, oh,
One of the few only.
One of the few? Really?
It takes a lot to make me groan.
That says a lot.
Like,
No wonder you don't have a girlfriend.
there's I'm not only are there no lines for me, I step over the lines. I am a habitual line stepper.
No wonder my aunt would like you.
Giggity.
Better than a habitual.
Giggity. So,
But yeah, that wasn't that
But
thing back in
shit.
the 70s. It was like just nothing but like parodies of like actual World War II like things. Like what was it, like Love Camp 7 or something like that? It was another one of those movies. It was an entire genre.
Well, it's kind of like women in prison movies.
I was
It's
gonna
all
say, I think-
fantasy.
Well, those have been around forever. It's like the 30s.
well, there was like Hogan's Heroes, So I mean, Hogan.
Sure.
I actually worked for a guy named Hogan.
Really?
for a long time. I was Hogan.
We actually have some other news to talk about. It's some Eternals
do?
news. Yes,
Ooh.
we
Oh yes,
Take the helm.
Ooh, yeah, Eternals.
do. Eternals.
Yes. Yeah.
Any Angelina Jolie
Licking
fans
it.
in the house?
No.
Eh,
Pre-lip implant. Giggity.
What did that look like?
I don't remember.
Just watch Hackers.
Lips
She
are
was
still
in
pretty
that?
big in that.
No, they're pre-implant then. Trust me. Pretty sure.
I don't trust you. I mean, her mouth is bigger than her nose.
She actually shows them in Hackers. So
Okay, Angelina Jolie doing superheroes. Angelina Jolie is getting make her first foray into the world of superheroes. The Oscar-winning actress is in talks to star in Marvel Studios' The Eternals superhero team adventure, being directed by Chloe Zhao. Zhao? Whatever. She doesn't know me. I don't know her or anything.
Isn't Angelina
Jolie is
Jolie on the older end of the spectrum age-wise?
she is now, yeah.
Well, the Eternals are immortal, so they have very long lifespan. So
Oh, okay.
Jolie has been chosen Marvel. She chose the Marvel project based on Jack Kirby creative title about superpowered near immortal beings known as Eternals and a more monstrous offshoot known as the Deviants that were created by the cosmic beings called the Celestials. Pardon me. While details about the movie are being kept under wraps, sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that one aspect to the story involves a love story between Icarus, a man fueled by cosmic energy, and Circe, who relishes in moving amongst humans. It is unclear who Jolie will play. She'll probably play Circe. Marvel had no comment. Zhao, an award-winning indie director behind what has she done? Chloe Zhao. Look up her credits. Somebody. Award-winning indie director. Oh, wow. Behind the critical hits, the writer, Songs My Brother Taught Me. Never heard of him. Wilhelm, from a script by Matthew and Ryan Firpo. Never heard of them either. Well, this will be Jolie's first superhero movie. It's not her first comic book movie, and she starred in 2007's adaptation of Mark Millar's Wanted.
Ugh, it wasn't that great a movie.
I like the idea, though.
I like the idea.
I haven't had an issue with the movie, but I've never read the graphic novel or the comics or whatever that it's based on.
The graphic novel is better.
There was one stunt I saw that was actually pretty cool about the guy, the car like did a skid and they opened the door. He just like kind of climbed in all on the fly. That was actually pretty cool. Jolie is currently working with Marvel's parent company Disney on the upcoming Maleficent. Thank you, Mistress of Evil, which was recently moved.
It is.
Recently moved up to a release date from this fall from spring of 2020. And on the animation live action hybrid, only Ivan, which he's also producing. The actress' upcoming projects include Come Away, a fantasy drama about Brenda Chapman. Never heard of her. Jolie is repped by UTA Sloan.
Brenda Chapman, no, she's the woman who directed Brave, or well, kind of directed Brave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Angelina Jolie. Okay. Okay. Well, I haven't got much more to say.
Well, we do have Captain April. Got that up on the Eternals. Rob, you know a little bit about them, don't you?
Yeah, the Eternals. Yeah, there's beings. I think they're created by like the Celestials. There's two camps: the Deviants and the Eternals. They're sort of at odds. The Eternals are everything like what humans, like the pinnacle of what humans should be, aspire to be. And sort of like the Celestials sort of pit themselves against each other. The Eternals are very very angelic, very ethereal, very beautiful features. The Deviants are exactly what they look like. They're Deviants, sort of the oldest, not the Inhumans, but like the oldest races of species in the Marvel cosmic universe, in the Marvel universe, where the Eternal sole mission is to prevent the spread of deviants and to keep order in the universe. They're sort of like, what's the good best way to? They're kind of like cosmic Avengers, really, kind of, but they're more divine. I was
gonna say it sounds more like an allegory for God, the devil, angels, and demons,
or space cop.
Pretty much. Are they pretty much heaven and earth? What
are they? The Q, the Q, like in Star Trek. Not powerful like that.
No. No, it's sort of an allegory for heaven and hell, pitting the forces of heaven and hell against each other.
A
Eric
friend
Kelly
of mine
wants
read
to know
it more.
Eric Kelly wants
You-
to know if Angelina Jolie was going to be adopting one of the cast members after the movie wraps. It all depends on how diverse they are.
She'll then direct a really good source material into the ground. I'm sorry, I'm still angry at her for ruining Unbreakable. That was a great book, and you ruined it. Or Unbroken, excuse me.
David Spade said about her when she adopted the kid from Vietnam. David Spade was saying about her, yeah, and then she says she wants to. She would like to go back to Vietnam, live there. The kid must be sitting on the couch. No. I worked my ass off to get adopted and get out of that hellhole. I am not going back. You know. So, like really, what is with these celebrities? They got to adopt. We have kids in this country that need adopting. I mean, how's it going to look?
Not diverse.
Yeah, kids are going to get started. Like American kids are going to start to get adopted by by parents overseas. You know, how's it going to look in 20 years? And you know, in the Olympics, little Shaquille Schickelberger is scoring 60 for Team Germany. Jeez, in basketball.
The French are gonna have a lot of bills.
Yeah.
Like, the winner is like David Francais.
They don't
American
take
kids, they're not
names
welcome.
from them. You guys. No, what you're gonna have is like the whitest, blue-eyed looking guy named like, you know, some strange name that you'll see. But no, it's this whole Angelina Jolie thing with her and the
Blonde. It's gonna be like on American Dad. Francine has two like Japanese parents. She's blonde haired and blue eyed. She's speaking Japanese. She has two Japanese parents.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be like.
I'm still waiting for the celebrity death match between her and Jennifer Aniston.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh man, that's supposed to be coming back, right?
Yes.
That's coming back soon. Oh, awesome.
It better have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Giggity.
So
I can make it a three-way between her and Marion Cotillard.
Giggity. All right.
Well, I made that worse.
So yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's a win-win.
And that's the news.
But anyway, what else do we got? Okay, what else do we have here?
Nothing.
Freestyle.
Nothing. We got to have something else.
Damn thing.
So
Nothing.
not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. No.
Is Jake online yet or not?
I
Batman's
don't know.
not on. So anyway, okay. Well, let's see what's over here. Yeah. Well, we could always wrap with the audience. So what do you say? Audience,
the Shadows TV show is just as good as the movie. I didn't even know it was out yet.
Oh, it's today.
Really?
Oh, did it? Oh.
And the coolest thing is one of the characters is clearly modeled off of Elizabeth Bathory.
I need to watch that. I never have time though.
Oh, did you ever see the movie
Nope.
Random?
Nope. I never have time to watch movies.
Does anybody here watch Mr. Sci-Fi on YouTube? Mark Zickery.
No.
I've seen a couple of his videos, but no.
Actually, he was talking about STD.
Yeah, I saw one of them. He was a little too easy on it, so I'm like, I don't want to listen to what you have to say.
This 15-minute video. And this one actually he was saying was pretty much what we've been saying all along is they have these effect shots and they have these scenes and they try to tailor the story around the effect shots. I'm like, yeah, he's noticing it too. This is a guy who's a professional writer too. It's and he's like Doug Jones. He's like Doug Jones is Doug Jones is in his series Space Command, but I mean, but he's pretty much saying Doug Jones is the one character on Discovery you can salvage. But at the same time, it's it's getting harder for people to hide. Is what it is for people to defend this show. And Mark Zickery, this is a guy who was he was a writer for the Next Generation.
Oh, there was one other bit of news. Sorry, go ahead.
he was holding out some kind of hope that it was getting better, but even he's having to admit, nope, not happening. What's the other news, Tom?
Sonequa Martin. Yeah, it is. That's what reminded me of it. Sonequa Martin Green is going to be in Space Jam 2.
I hope she does well. I really do, because she goes in so many little like range of like bad, terrible, horrible overacting.
She's probably not even going to be in it that much.
No, probably not.
She's probably just going to play Kobe's girlfriend or wife or whatever.
Probably, but
why is there even a Space Jam 2?
It's funny because I just now that you put that in the thing, I do this earlier actually, Mecca, and I forgot all about it.
That's because you smoke too much weed.
That has to be proven.
that weed causes memory loss, or that you smoke too much.
That there's just such a thing as too much.
Actually, I did read that people are ODing on weed in Colorado. It's because you're only supposed to eat a little bit of the edible, from what I read.
That is bullshit, Rob.
And people
Willie Nelson's still alive. That can't be true.
There's never once been an OD ever on weed. You know what ODs on weed are? People who don't know how to handle their shit.
No, people who drink
right.
formaldehyde are the people who OD.
Or stuff like that, or they get something that's spiked.
That's illy, yeah, what they call illy.
The only time I can see any of those stories being remotely true is if somebody is on has psychosis or psychological issues, then I can understand.
Like, I'm having sort of a mini freak out over here. Tell me I don't have to stay in this room. What? Tell me I don't have to stay in this room. You don't have to stay in this room. Oh, thank God.
I'm gonna be such a narc. I've never done weed my whole life.
No, I've never done.
I proof that all that propaganda is bullshit. But anyway,
yeah. But the whole thing, I keep saying, what is the justification now for not? Because my state is they're currently debating whether or not to legalize it, and it just cleared the first hurdle.
Well, not even to get on the political shit, but I've said this a million times. Everybody wants Medicare for all, right? For the most part, that's one thing that just about everybody can agree on. Just legalize weed and tax the hell out of it for Medicare. End of discussion. Money taken care of.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's all. That's all.
Some people think the ghost of Ronnie Reagan's going to come out and say, "Don't do drugs," and then kill us all.
You shouldn't do the reefer, because next thing, before you know it, you'll be listening to jazz with Negro musicians. Oh, I tell you.
But I definitely need a drink.
But I need a drink. Oh, Nancy. Oh, is it time for my pill yet? Oh, there I go again. So
yeah, but that's the only arguments you have left are it's a gateway drug. I'm like, really? You don't think alcohol is a gateway drug? And the only reason why alcohol is even was made legal is because somebody said that when the government needed money, somebody said, "Hey, remember that 1% excise tax we used to have on booze?" That's all. That's the only reason the government needed money.
The only thing pot is a gateway to is making weird food, like Oreos and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Or hey, I have cinnamon Rice Krispies, huh? Let's make Rice Krispie treats out of the cinnamon Rice Krispies.
That's simple, Becca. You're not even thinking out the box. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
How many chocolate chip raisin pancakes?
I did make banana oatmeal cookies.
You think that's simple? I don't even know which end to freaking smoke the bong.
Banana oat. That sounds awesome.
Well, yeah, you just replace the wet ingredients with banana and just instant oatmeal.
And Rob's not even stoned.
None of us are, or drunk.
I love cookies. I freaking love cookies.
Yeah, that you know of.
Well, yeah, I could have been drunk yesterday.
There's this misconception that has always been around since I was a kid. I can remember they would talk about it. Where are all these guys hanging out by the school looking to give away free drugs? I can't fucking find them. I've been looking.
They don't do that. They don't. And guess what? Marijuana actually helps with people who are addicted to opiates that the doctor fucking gives them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you hear all the time stories of, I was hooked on this or that or this painkiller, that painkiller. I've heard it in dispensaries. People are like, and I switched over to weed or whatever these people say. There's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. This hatred.
When did we become me for madness?
Well, with enough Cheech and Chong references, I think it's just
we gotta make weed legal. Gotta make weed legal. Gotta make weed legal. Gotta make weed legal. I don't even smoke weed. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But you know what?
Actually,
And hypocrisy.
I did make the 2-ingredient pancakes out of bananas. It's just bananas and eggs, and then you can add cinnamon and vanilla if you need to. But
They medicinally legalized it in my state 3 years ago, and all I can think of is that episode of South Park where they make it medicinally legal there. Turns out just as well.
But people's nut and the guys put their testicles in the microwave to try to
Yeah, but two of my neighbors already did that.
make.
That you don't need. Acapulco Gold is.
Badass weed.
Do you not?
But the whole thing, like I said, the real reason is, I think I've said this before, is that actually my mom wanted to know why weed is legal. I said because in the 30s, the timber industry knew that you could grow hemp faster, and the drug and the pharmaceutical companies know you cannot copyright a drug if it comes out of the ground. It has a lot of medicinal properties. Like I said, I'm not one of those people who says weed is going to save the world. The hemp is going to save the world. But at the same time, let's recognize for the good it can do. A little swig of water here.
Sure, it's water, Rob. Sure,
That's why Snoop Dogg did that song Milfweed.
Why are we talking about weed when we should be talking
why are we talking about weed? Why are we?
Why the hell not?
More interesting.
I'm
that boring? Well, her last name is Green. We'll give her that.
And I'm the narc here, so why am I even talking about it?
It's more interesting than Space Jam news.
Yeah, who cares about Space Jam? The first movie wasn't even that good.
I liked the first movie.
I
It was
know.
of its time. I'll admit I saw the movie when I was like 15 years old or whatever it was when it came out. When did it come out? 95, 96?
Something like 94 maybe?
Michael Jordan was playing
94?
baseball.
Yeah, I knew it had to come out somewhere around that time because it was like totally not in my age demographic.
Yeah, I
And
think
my
it's cool for
and I
it.
kind of thought on a joke because I mean we loved Looney Tunes. We're like, oh, this has got to be so bad. It's a movie based on a commercial. That's what most people don't even remember. Is that it was based on a Nike commercial.
That's right.
Air Jordan saved the day, yo.
Bill Murray. Is Bill Murray going to be in the movie?
I hope so.
He's going to be in a
cool. I'm on
wheelchair and want to
Twitter.
kill himself, probably. Oh, sorry.
I'm on Twitter right now, and the Colorado Avalanche are wearing the mid '90s jerseys, which I still have one. Oh, cool!
Just
So
sad.
it's retro. Just goes to show you, if you keep your clothes long enough, eventually everything comes back in style.
This movie has LeBron James, Captain Ohio, and even I don't even give a shit.
That's true.
But
yeah.
I'll also be the first one to say that Looney Tunes Back in Action was a more faithful Looney Tunes movie.
I prefer that movie to Space Jam. I know it's not great, but it has better scenes.
Of course.
But anyway,
It's
like I
also
said,
the reason
when-
Joe Dante doesn't get to make many movies anymore.
Yeah, isn't that
It's 'cause
the
Looney
crying
Tunes-
shame?
because of Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it cost a buttload and didn't make shit.
It also kind of kneecapped Brendan Fraser's career.
And it was his dream project. If you noticed all the Looney Tunes influence on the Gremlins, yeah, it was one of Joe Dante's dream projects, and it was a nightmare in the end, basically. I like the movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm the first one to admit it has huge issues.
Oh, it has a lot of problems.
Okay. Question: If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Gremlins is also a Christmas movie.
Yes, of
isn't
course.
it?
Of course.
Technically, yeah, even though both of them were released in the summer, and that's the argument that's supposed to trump everything. The only
It's not
thing I
because-
have for Gremlins that goes in the defense of it not being a Christmas movie is if you watch the making of Gremlins from 1984, Joe Dante can specifically being seen said to the little kid from the Chinese guys, I can't remember, Key Luke, his grandson, the actor, he's talking to him, Joe Dante is, and he's like, when's this come out? Does it come out this Christmas? And he's like, no, because then it'll be a Christmas movie. We're saving it for next summer. And yes, Joe Dante talks like that.
You know the best summary of Joe Dante, that famous like Key and Peele skit we're talking about how they made Gremlins 2. Go with that.
It's probably not far off of what
It
happened.
really isn't. I've looked at that making of that movie, and I can't think of any other movies that are quite like that.
Well, the thing
Okay,
was, everybody in Hollywood had written a version of Gremlins 2 that never got made.
Okay, we have to put Gremlins on the watch party list.
Oh God, yeah.
Of course, that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Also, I got to add one too, which is, have any of you ever heard of a really bad movie called Order of the Black Eagle? It's one of my favorite bad movies.
Heard of it, but never seen it.
It was on Red Letter Media once. It's a masterpiece of schlock. It has every single bad aspect you can imagine, and it's so much fun.
Is it like public domain? Is it just on YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh,
that's the scene where eye patch wearing Nazi Orson Welles blows up like a satellite and says, "There will be no HBO."
Okay, so let's start thinking of things for a watch party. Okay, for watch party.
Well, we got Spinal Tap. We've said that before.
Mhm.
Ninja Turtles 90.
John Wick 1.
John Wick. Because Rob's never seen it.
No, I
Believe
never
it.
seen it.
Bill and Ted, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. I have to watch those.
I say we should do Heavy Metal, but I seem like the only one who actually likes them.
Oh, the chat knows my movie. Yeah, it has a baboon in a tank at one point.
This is like I said, Gremlins. What else? I don't think you guys like Enter.
Police Academy 1 through 5.
Cut it off at 4-7. Oh my god.
At least 1 through 4.
At least 1 through 4. 5. Well, 5 has some good moments though.
It
has no Steve Gutenberg and it has no Bobcat Goldthwait.
No, I've never. Dash on JB09. No, I've never seen John Wick.
I know,
Never
right?
gets it. I've just never seen it.
Rob does not watch movies. That's the funny thing. I don't know how he gets through, but he has yet to see like Wonder Woman and shit.
I don't watch movies either. I still haven't seen Black Panther.
Me neither. It takes a lot.
For that. I think it's on Netflix, right?
It takes a. Why do you think I haven't done a movie review in ages on my channel?
It doesn't help how you got how much MASH to watch? MASH to watch.
A boatload.
It's funny. The channel in my where I work, they had a MASH marathon on once, and it was the episode where they're trying to cook the pig. Great episode.
Cook the pig.
Oh, the one where there's a pig they want to eat, and Radar lets it loose because he feels bad for it, and then the people on the speaker going like, "Look for the pig. It is delicious and juicy."
Wow, I think it was a lamb actually.
No, it was a goat. Excuse me.
Oh, goat.
Yeah, okay, yeah, now I remember. Yeah. I was gonna say because Oh well. Anyway, no, yeah.
Hell comes to frog. Yeah, Hell Comes to Frog Town. Roddy Piper.
I've seen that. I haven't seen that in forever.
Movie. That's what we should do, because the movie never gets enough credit. I personally have a predilection towards the movie. I love the show. Don't get me wrong, but I'm one of those who loves to see people's reaction to the movie.
Oh, when they found out about Peter Chucker Jones?
Well, just in general, because it's such a different world. But yet you know all these characters. Because they're all the same characters, but, it's kind of like the show encapsulated in 2 hours, but rated R.
Have you ever read the book it's based on? Because the original book, Hawkeye, is actually a raging racist.
It's Robert Henninger.
I think just about everybody was that.
Which is the pen name. I think it's Robert Henninger who wrote MASH, or that's the pen name he went under. But it's actually he's not quite as liberal as Hawkeye was in the TV series.
No.
But we have to remember though the MASH, and that's one thing I think we'll get into if we watch it, is that MASH is specifically set up to be more of and this was by Robert Altman, and I think that's where the series resulted from. Even though it's supposed to take place during Korea, it's obviously Vietnam.
Oh, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Robert Altman got away with so much shit. Wasn't that the first movie to have the F word in it too? I think we've said that before, but yeah.
Was it?
I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Where he says, "I'm going to take your fucking head off."
Yeah. The original book is written by Richard Hooker, which is it's the pen name of Dr. Richard Hornberger. Robert Henninger. Where did I get Robert Henninger from?
Yeah, and MASH also started a tradition throughout the 70s where they would re-edit R-rated movies down to PG and re-release them. And that was one of the, if not the first, I remember them doing that with.
Okay,
I
more
still
supposed
love-
to say that Robert Altman's, Mash said the first word, first fucking major motion picture, but the climax of The Graduate does kind of do it first.
Oh, that's right, but they muted out.
Yeah.
I still love the scene where Hawkeye shows up his first day at 4077. Henry Blake says to him, Pierce, I understand you come here in a stolen Jeep. Stolen? No, that Jeep's not stolen. It's right outside, right over there. Oh, okay. Radar, change the numbers on the Jeep.
And then I'm like, Radar already says it. And then at the end, the best part is, Radar, where did he get that Jeep? That's the one he came in, sir. Oh, okay. Well, carry on.
Yeah.
Or did he steal
drives
that
away.
Jeep?
He drives away in the Jeep he stole. Yeah. There's a similar scene. Well, not similar scene, but in where first scene where BJ Honeycutt, where they're picking up BJ Honeycutt in Soul, I believe. And
In the show,
yeah, in the show, yeah. And their Jeep gets stolen. So Hawkeye stumbles upon another Jeep. He goes, Radar, look, it's our Jeep. No, sir, this is a General's Jeep. He goes, no, Radar, this is our Jeep. Look, I can describe it. It's olive green, has 4 tires and a steering wheel. Yeah, okay. All right. And they stole the General's Jeep. And so that's how you used to get that's what Klinger said. That's how they used to acquire a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff gets stolen.
Okay, important question. Who is the better commander? Like Winchester or the other guy?
Winchester. No, Blake or Potter.
Potter, that's what I'm talking about.
I
Blake just
like Potter, but I always thought it was cool that they did have him die in the show like that and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Blake was he was better. He was a more kind of loose, kind of down to earth guy.
He was
Potter
more like the guys. Yeah.
Potter was more military. Potter was regular army, as they said.
Yeah. But Winchester still cared.
Well, Winchester wasn't a commanding officer. Winchester was the surgeon.
No. The major.
Major. Okay. Oh, Burns or Winchester?
Don David Stiers.
Yeah, David August Stiers. Yeah.
He was the major.
Yeah, it was Major Charles Emerson Winchester III.
Mm-hmm.
Get me the hell out of here. So he's
I love him.
Yes, he was really very good actor. Charles Winchester.
Yeah.
He was on was in a very memorable episode of Next Generation.
Oh yes.
All that matters now is that Klinger is a Disney princess. Period.
That's right.
Well, they make hot lips now. What about hot lips?
Yeah.
Doesn't count. She's too slutty.
She's like Esmeralda. We can't count her.
She's more like the evil queen. You're right, or the evil stepmother. Yep.
No, she's like Esmeralda. That's sort of in between. We're not evil, but they're too sexy to be a Disney princess. So.
Hey! Klinger was the first trans person to appear on television on a weekly series.
Drag, though.
I think you're right.
Well, trans, and say what kind of trans? Transvestite.
Yeah, but they don't count transvestite, do they? Don't they usually just count it for like
transvestite and transsexual different things?
Because they're saying he was doing it not to get a sexual gratification.
Yeah, he wasn't doing it
get out of the army.
Who it was. He was doing it just to say, let me out.
Get out of the army.
Yeah.
Which honestly is the only character that I wish was in the movie, because I would have loved to have seen what Altman would have done with that.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
Yeah.
The show didn't do much with Tearsucker. They threw him out after 2 episodes.
Well, it's kind of difficult to have a character named that on TV.
I know.
I mean, it is based on a real person. So that's the only excuse that the writer has, basically, other than what most millennials forget is that, racism pretty much existed all throughout time and was very prevalent, and not only prevalent, but accepted.
Well, I know that. I mean, I was in a podcast yesterday and we were talking about...
I don't mean you in general, Tyler, but I'm just saying, but
Oh, no. I was saying that because I was in a podcast yesterday and we talked about the original Dumbo and like, oh yeah, the crow's name was Jim Crow. Nice.
Yeah, crows will not be in the new movie.
No.
You think?
But they're the ones who taught him how to fly.
Yeah, they're the coolest characters in the movie.
I've seen a house fly. I've seen a horse fly. Never don't see an elephant fly.
Well, no, you can't work in showbiz, Rob. You're done.
Well, yeah, like I'm working.
I've seen just about anything.
It's the best song in the movie.
It's in the scenes in 1941 as well. One of Kathleen Kennedy's most prolific
films.
It's funny. Spielberg will own up to that movie being his worst movie every day of the week. I mean, didn't he write in a joke in Animaniacs where it's like, we got to get a giant bomb and they just throw a case of that movie at a guy?
I think so.
I think so.
Like the documentary he did like 2 years ago, or was it last year? He even says, "Oh yes, I must now atone for the war crime that was 1941."
Yeah, there's people who've done worse.
I actually don't hate it. I kind of like parts of it.
Probably another one we could throw on the watch party list because there is an extended cut now on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and it has such a great cast. I mean, come on, it has Toshiro Mifune and Christopher Lee.
Pretty much everybody from Saturday Night Live, but Bill Murray.
Yeah, he probably asked him too.
Not everybody, but
Bobby DeCicco, who was in a lot of movies. He was in a lot of movies in the 70s.
John Candy, of course.
It just has the distinction of being the only comedy that Spielberg attempted to make.
Bobby DeCicco. He was in a movie called I Want to Hold Your Hand, one of Robert Zemeckis' first films.
That's another good one.
One with the Beatles, yeah, great movie.
That's a great. If you've never seen I Want to Hold Your Hand, it's not necessarily about the Beatles. It's about a group of kids from New Jersey going to see the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show.
You could definitely tell these are the guys who are going to make Back to the Future when you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
It has that sentimentality to it.
Two movies to add to the list. The watch party list. We can add Sgt. Pepper and Across the Universe.
No. I've watched Sgt. Pepper.
Was stupid.
It's why.
Everybody hates that movie
because it sucks.
Because it sucks. It's an insult.
Yes, it is. But there's this strange sort of like there's this ironic appreciation people have for it now. They try to hold it up as a better film than it actually is.
I cannot bring myself to buy the Blu-ray. Yeah, I know what you mean, Rob.
Yeah. Should I reveal the end? It's a 40-year-old movie. Should I say how I Want to Hold Your Hand ends? Should I say?
Oh, so anyway, Hold Your Hand. Oh, that. I thought you were talking about Sgt. Pepper.
Should I say how that ends? I mean,
for people kind of already.
I thought we were talking about Sgt. Pepper for a moment.
Well, we kind of know how it ends. The Beatles are on the Ed Sullivan Show. So, but Bobby DeCicco. Okay, spoilers. Okay, and for the next minute or two, okay, let me put up the timer for the next minute. I'm going to be talking about I'm going to talk about the spoiler for I Want to Hold Your Hand. And ready? 3, 2, 1. So at the end, okay, the kids they're in the Ed Sullivan Theater, and the Beatles are about to go on. Actually, this is probably one of the better endings to a movie I've ever seen. And so Bobby DeCicco, he gets a blazer that lets him pass for CBS security, and him and the girl he's with, and she's a convert, she's a believer now, she appreciates the Beatles now. He goes on the roof, he goes up to the antenna with an axe, and she's like, don't do it, you don't have no idea what the Beatles mean now to people. And he's like, that's it, I hate the Beatles, I'm gonna end this thing once and for all. And he gets the axe, he's about to cut the wire, and a bolt of lightning comes down, strikes him, and shocks him, and he looks up at the sky. Okay, you want him? You got him. And we're done with the spoilers now. Now. But that's great. But that's
I can't believe they shot John Lennon in 1963. Those are the people who didn't hear the movie.
I let the chat know I'm done with the spoilers.
I know.
So okay. But that's a great.
I really don't.
That was probably like the best ending they could have been. And they get Robert Zemeckis, like very Robert Zemeckis kind of ending, right?
Yeah. That's what I was saying, and that's not even a reference what I was talking about earlier with the Back to the Future thing. That's just the happy.
With the period piece, yeah, making a period piece and how well it's done and everything, yeah, and just like capturing it as a particular era in American history, you know.
Well, and just not only that, having kind of a fake story around a real time period thing happening, and that kind of later led into like Forrest Gump, and it's just kind of funny we're talking about Zemeckis because I just seen the article the other day about how he has not had any luck for the last 15-20 years now. Tyler,
no. Back to the Future would be a good one to do.
Oh, of course it was. That's like
we'd have to do all three of them though.
Well, yeah.
You know, Back to the Future, the score by Alan Silvestri.
And scores by yeah.
I got it, but I'm not playing it. We'll definitely get a copy straight.
Oh yeah. But if you actually listen to it, it reminds you of Captain America. It reminds you of a lot of other scores he did. And if you think about it, he actually didn't write a score for a comedy. He wrote a score for an adventure movie.
Well, that was the same thing. Yeah, and that was the same thing they did for Ghostbusters and Animal House that worked so well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't score them like comedies. They scored them like a drama for Animal House and like a horror film for Ghostbusters, basically.
Oh yeah. But you think about it, actually, Back to the Future is an adventure, but he's going on an adventure back in time.
Okay, how do you feel about the sequels? Because I actually like the third one more than the second.
I like the second one. Not crazy about the third one.
You're not? See,
Really?
I love the third one.
It's my favorite.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it, but not as much as the first two. That's
the
what I
second one was one when it first came out. I was kind of disappointed by it. I remember that being one of my first disappointments as a kid, seeing a sequel.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, I found a lot more appreciation for it, and now it's to me is almost on the same level as the other two.
I wouldn't go that far.
Because before that, to me, the first one and the third movie were damn near perfect movies. You can't like make better movies. And then the second one was just kind of like the odd stepchild in the middle. But then as time's gone on and I've seen the movie more for what it is, and especially how dark it is and the central piece of a movie and how it fits in the puzzle, even though I would have loved to have seen the original version that was planned, where they go back to the 60s instead of the 50s. Again, that's the only part about the movie I don't like, is that we go back into the first film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now,
and the time paradoxes and all that sort of nonsense.
Well, see, now as I'm older, I love time paradoxes and I love that stuff. That's why I love that part of the movie. But I would have much rather seen Marty go back and see his parents as hippies in the 60s.
You know, I wish I loved time paradoxes, but I always kind of, I'm like, oh, so you went back in time to do this and this, but then how would you do blah, blah, blah.
Well, the whole point of part 2 got destroyed because of Crispin Glover. Full disclosure.
Oh, yes, the famous lawsuit.
Well, not just that. The whole thing was predicated on him coming back for part 2 for the 60s storyline to work. And that's when the trouble with him came into play. And that's when Zemeckis said, you know what? Fuck it. We can work around him. We can he'll be the whole plot of the movie will be that he's gone. And then that's what left them into going into the first movie again and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was just because they had footage of him they could use. And then that leads to your lawsuit that you're talking about, Tyler.
Yeah. That is one of the weirdest stories that they thought they could get away with that. They thought we could do a plaster sheet of his face and put it on someone else and then credit him. And then, so strange.
Well, before that, I don't think there was a thing in the Actors Guild for reusing.
There was not.
But
they game of death them. That's what they did.
Basically.
You know about that, right, Tom? They game of death.
Yeah, the Bruce Lee thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's like 30 Bruce Lees in that movie.
All appearing slightly in shadow.
You know, it's funny. I only watch like the scenes where he actually is Bruce Lee, which is the big tower scene, and I just turn off the movie because I just don't give a damn.
Have you seen
Sorry.
Have you seen the original cut of that scene?
Yes, I have.
He's with 2 other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the two other guys don't make it up the top of the pagoda.
It's great.
It is.
It's a little bit less great when they use his real funeral.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy shit.
That's bad. That's bad. Billy Lowe is dead.
And just to show you how shallow my dislike for part 2 was as a kid, Mage Grey Wolf gave me help me explain this. The reason I was so against it for many years as a kid was because they built this thing up about Back to the Future 2 being in the future, and they're there for literally 15 minutes.
I know. They Jason Take Manhattan it.
Yeah, they did.
So
that was
for
another
years,
big letdown.
I had this against it for no good reason. And rewatching it over time, I was like, you know what? This movie isn't nearly as bad as they say. And I was so happy to see in 2015 it finally kind of got, just kind of the notice it should have gotten way back when. Because I mean, even in my household, we would sometimes skip over part 2, I was like,
that was my least favorite, and that's still kind of my least favorite. But no, you're right. I would I would just watch 3 as a standalone movie instead of 2.
But now you can't get to 3 without 2.
Yeah.
And like now I respect and love 2 a lot more.
Oh yeah.
They took a chance, and despite the fact of what I wanted to see out of it, it's you can't. There's very few trilogies where you can say each one of those films is worthy of existing.
Yeah,
because even Star Wars, you could say, yeah, well, Return of the Jedi is a lot of retread.
Yeah.
Really, there's 10 minutes of story in there that you needed to finish off Empire. That's about it. You know, I mean, most trilogies, you're just like, Lord of the Rings is the only other one, but that was already pre-made. And
well, Toy Story trilogy as well.
Yeah, that's another great example. But even like, you know, even some of the greats like Godfather 3. I don't even know.
Oh, we don't talk about Godfather 3.
I don't even know how that got nominated for as many Oscars as it
like
did.
8 of them. Like
Francis Ford Coppola, they had to nominate it.
I was gonna say it was more like just out of obligation, and there was nothing else out at the time. I think
he then lost them all, and then got drunk and just became a wino.
Yep. Oh boy. Well, anyway, let's. Okay. Do you want to say we want to wrap this up?
No. We still got. Well,
I mean, a few more minutes. A few more minutes.
Yeah, we can squeeze a few minutes.
I really like Mary Steenburgen in the 3rd movie. I really did.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people
Yeah,
didn't.
she was good. I liked her.
I liked her.
Sweet.
She was the only one who came back to do her voice on the cartoon of Back to the Future. Believe it or not.
I know. I don't know why it was just her.
It's just weird. And they had Christopher Lloyd for the intros and outros, but they had Homer Simpson come in and do his voice for some reason.
Was he always the guy that used to dub everybody when we didn't have him? It's like, oh, we can't have Robin Williams for the Aladdin cartoon because he wants to kill Jeffrey Katzenberg. Get Homer Simpson again. Which that was a weird story. Did anyone know that one about the time that Robin Williams pretty much swore off against Disney for about 10 years because of Jeffrey Katzenberg?
Well, that was part of it, but the reason I think the boiled down to is they used his voice for a bunch of toys and shit, and he wasn't getting any money out of it.
Yeah, because he agreed to do SAG scale for that movie on the return promise to Katzenberg that you're not going to put me in all the ads and say it's a Robin Williams movie. You're not going to do the toy thing, all that sort of stuff. And he instantly went back on his word and, it's Robin Williams as the genie. Go see my movie. And it was a big hit. And he went, oh, you cocksucker, I'm never coming back. And then he came back in like 98 after Katzenberg was gone.
Robin Williams has been screwed over more than anybody in the history of Hollywood. I swear to God.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so bad for him over the years of all the shit he had, especially with the Batman bullshit. He was used not once, but twice by Warner Brothers because of that shit. And I think he swore off Warner Brothers then because of that shit. And yeah, so I feel bad for a lot of shit. And even Popeye, he got such shit for Popeye. And anybody who remembers the original comic strip it's based on knows how faithful that movie was to that original comic strip. They were just expecting, the 6-minute Popeye cartoons. Well, Altman and all those guys knew right off the bat, you can't sit there and do a 6-minute Popeye cartoon as a 2-hour movie. It's going to get fucking boring. It's like you can't stretch that shit out. There's a reason why they changed and went to the original story and got more into the oil family and stuff like that because you had to stretch out the story. It can't be just around one guy beating the shit out of a big guy for 6 minutes.
Nope.
I love the first Popeye. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I like it. I mean, Shelley Duvall's one of my least favorite parts of that. I'm not a big Shelley Duvall
she was
fan.
perfectly cast. What are you talking about?
I'm just not a big fan of her as an actress. I mean, it's a good choice for the role. I just,
like her or not, she's olive oil. I mean,
she has the look.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly. I mean, when you picture the animated version and put it against her, those two right there were probably the peak.
Well,
Robin Williams, he had to push it to make himself like Popeye.
Well, the animated version didn't have a horse mouth.
My favorite line in the whole movie because he improvised a few lines with Sweet Pea and he finds him in the basket. He goes, "Hey, don't cry, don't cry." And he's reading the note to the one-eyed sailor. He goes, "I find," and the baby goes, "Baby, you're a baby." He says so right here.
Yeah, most of his shit was he had to redo a lot of his dialogue after the fact because they couldn't understand him because he had that pipe in his mouth. And he would constantly go off on the little, Popeye, oh, well, and you couldn't understand what he was saying from the recordings. So a lot of that was overdubbed later, but yeah.
One of my favorite Family Guy bits was when Popeye was at the doctor's. Popeye, I don't know how to tell you this, but you've had a stroke. Yeah, you had a and your arms, those aren't muscles, those are tumors. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how you're even able to walk. Yeah, that speech impediment. Yeah, he says you've had you've had multiple sclerosis since 1973.
I gotta correct you, Alpha J 3.0. Do check out our Midnight's Edge Popeye emoji movie video from about 2 years back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The emoji movie actually had nothing to do, believe it or not, surprisingly, with Popeye not being made.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah.
Movie
Andre
stuck on its own.
Yeah.
It wasn't an either or proposition. What happened? I can't remember what happened exactly.
They did a test screening, and because Andre and I dug through the emails, and this is all in the emails, they did a test screening, and because after they released that footage online, and everybody like in our age group loved it for the most part, they did a test screening, and kids didn't get it. It wasn't hip enough for the kids, and they had no interest in Popeye.
Why do we trust the kids? That always seems to backfire. I'm thinking of Halloween 6, where it's like the teenagers going, this is boring, or Little Mermaid, where like a 5-year-old just couldn't sit, so they're like, let's cut it. Let's just cut it.
Well, take a look at Star Trek Discovery. Look what happens when they try to make something for the kids.
Yeah.
Take a look at Star Wars. Take a look at what happens when they make something for the kids. Kids don't know what they want until you give it to them most times.
How crazy is that, though? Sorry.
I said I hate saying that about kids because I was one, but really that's the reality. Until you show kids something cool, they really don't know what they want.
No, look at it. They just love memes and stupid shit. Like, seriously.
I know. Like, how does like a 50-year-old executive say, you know what, that 5-year-old is getting squirmy while watching Part of Your World? She's right. Let's cut that from the movie.
Dumb.
My niece.
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I was say, here's a story about kids. My niece. When did Guardians of the Galaxy?
2014.
2014. Okay, 2014. My niece, who is about 11 now, she was 7 when Guardians of the Galaxy was released. So, no, maybe about 6, 7, around that age range. They took. Well, first of all, no, I'm sorry, wrong movie. Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is actually released earlier in the year.
Yeah.
My brother took his girlfriend, who was now his fiance, his son, who was a little older, who was 14 now. He was maybe about 10 or so. His daughter, who is 18 now, who was about 14, and his other daughter, my niece, who was about 6, 7. To see Captain America: Winter Soldier. The 14-year-old was absolutely riveted. The 10-year-old was absolutely riveted. The 6-year-old was bored. She was sitting upside down in a chair. She was walking up and down the aisles. I mean, like I said, kids only have a limited attention span. I mean, you at that age, yeah, okay, fine. That age, kids like 6 or 7 are going to be bored by Popeye, but older kids, maybe 10, 13, 14, they're going to like it. They're going to say, hey, I think I know this. This might be pretty cool. I understand the idea of making a movie that might appeal to a really young kid in that you sell them a ticket and you sell the parent a ticket. I understand that. And then when you're at the movie theater, you sell, and then kids are going to want to go home. They're going to buy merchandise. You're going to want to go to Target or Walmart. Hey, I want the Ilsa sneakers or whatever.
Well, there was some issue with the Popeye movie to begin with that I don't know if it would have worked the way we wanted it to anyway, because I think they tried to modernize it too much. And I'm sorry, Popeye is one of those stories that you almost have to put it in the time period that it takes place.
It kind of has to be 1930s, 1940s, maybe not like
For Popeye, for the status of a sailor to be what Popeye was, and the type of it has to be set during the Depression. Almost, it's kind of the inspirations for a lot of the stories and stuff like that. So that aside, one thing I was going to say before Rob went on his long rant there, bringing up Disney and stuff as Tyler was, Disney never intended to make cartoon movies for kids, just for kids. It was never his intention. His intention was to be able to get adults to come in, sit through a feature-length animated film and actually care about the characters on screen. Because that was the challenge that everybody told Disney was, oh yeah, you can make people entertained for 6-7 minutes. But there's no way you're going to make them sit there and watch an entire feature-length film that's completely animated. And not only that, get anybody to give a shit about the characters because they know they're not real. So he's like, all right, hold my beer. And we got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And the rest is fucking history. So regardless of what anybody wants to say, the best not just animated, but best family movies considerably were never movies that were necessarily intended to be children's films to begin with. Wizard of Oz wasn't even necessarily meant to be a kid's film to begin with. It was meant for everybody. You know, it was meant, it was a big spectacle. It was meant to be, and it pretty much flopped when it first came out too. People forget that. I mean, it didn't do horrible, but it didn't do what they were expecting it to, because they built I seen a documentary about this, how they built the Wizard of Oz up to be like one of the first tentpole like spectacle movies, like, you know, how we do with the superhero movies now, you know, the Avenger movies and stuff. And it just didn't live up to that expectation at first, but it just happened to kind of live on through. But that year for movies was like a huge year for movies, because wasn't that the same year that like
Gone with the Wind
and stuff came out? And
I pulled a list of all the movies that came out the year. That was like Stagecoach, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Oh my God, 1939 was a hell of a year for movies.
So yeah, so over time it got more notoriety, and I think because I think also it said in that documentary, or maybe it was an article I was reading, I can't remember which. No, because I watch a lot of YouTube crap too when I'm just working on stuff. Well, my thing will just go on. I'll have it start on something, and it'll just keep playing, you know, semi-related stuff before it just started. The algorithm all fucked up. I can know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's happening all the time too. Yeah. Like I'll be watching like some sort of documentary, and then
somewhere between that or actually reading an article. I can't remember which, but anyway. And then in the end, I can't remember. Was it NBC or CBS who bought the television rights to it?
I think it was NBC,
or was it ABC? Now
it was NBC on Peacock, I think.
Yeah, that's not as important as the whole thing. But the whole point is the reason we even probably still have Wizard of Oz to this day, as popular it is because of that. Because they bought this deal and they got this sweetheart deal for the movie. So it was like, yeah. So
it was shown every year. Every fall or every Easter or whatever it is. Yeah.
Whatever it was. Yeah. And they got this hell of a deal for it. And because it didn't do as well as they were hoping. And then because of that, same thing with Wonderful Life. That movie happened to fall into public domain, so everybody was showing it every Christmas on every not public access, but the UHF channels and the non-network channels and stuff like that would show that every Christmas.
Colorized, semi-colorized, black and white, yeah.
Well, Ted Turner came in and colorized it.
Bastard,
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was his thing in the 80s. Gotta colorize everything.
Well, he was a little ahead of his time, because I'll hate me or not, I've seen some colorized stuff now compared to then that ain't so bad.
I get the argument for why people don't like that, but it's still better than, like, you know, the George Lucas keep adding CGI shit everywhere.
Well, isn't that what Peter Jackson just did in his recent documentary too, though? Was he colorized?
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit better because it's colorizing and like modifying like World War I footage so that it looks like it was shot yesterday. That's more acceptable when it's, I guess, not, you know, Citizen Kane.
Well, I wouldn't have it. Well, Citizen Kane. Yeah.
What's the name of that movie? The World War I movie.
They Shall Not Grow Old. Really good. Really good.
Yeah, I want to see it. But the thing is like, and I know people are gonna hate me, but I actually prefer the colorized version of Night of the Living Dead over the original. It's not a bad colorization, but it wasn't done that long ago. It was just recent. Now that they've remastered it it looks so much better in the black and white version. Don't get me wrong, but at the time when that came out, it wasn't bad, and compared to all the other DVD releases, it was so much better. Because of the quality, because I think Fox actually produced that one.
God, there's how many versions of that movie are on like DVD and Blu-ray and VHS?
Tim of the Digital Bits and I tried to figure it out. We're pretty sure and pretty confident we can say that movie's been released on DVD and VHS more than any other movie in history.
Oh, I think so, easily.
Let's take a look
thousands of versions.
Let's take a look at bad colorization now. Casablanca.
That's something that should never be touched, though. Yeah, see,
that's a bad colorization right there.
And the colorization, what brought me to this was the newer redone colorization of Wonderful Life on the Blu-ray that I think NBC produced is not that bad. That's another one of the newer ones they didn't do a horrible job on. But now Plan 9 from Outer Space looks horrible in the colorized version.
Well, is it ever going to look good anyway?
Yeah, that's from the new black and white. That's from the new one, I believe. Yeah.
Here's this is from right there.
And Joker's 79. I totally understand that. And there's times where I'll just watch the regular version.
That looks like something from Dick Tracy. The color, it's too much.
Well, are they trying to emulate also though, like the Technicolor kind of look though?
I don't know. Okay, Raging Bull's in the movie, like, oh, don't colorize that. Come on.
Well, that was meant to see. That's the other thing is I think there should be a rule right off the bat that obviously, you know, if the director meant for it to be in black and white, let it be black and white. But you know damn well if someone said, I'll give Kevin Smith, you know, a couple $100,000 to colorize Clerks, he'd be like, let's do it.
Oh yeah, because he only could afford that. That wasn't a choice.
See, and that kind of stuff I have no issue with, you know, and I totally understand the colorization of Wonderful Life. It probably shouldn't be done. And I agree with that. But that's where I was bringing up Night of the Living Dead, for example, because that's when I'm sure that if he was probably given the choice at the time, Romero probably would have shot in color.
Well, everything's been done to that movie. Everything's been edited from that. Everything's been added to that. Look at that shitty 90s version where they add like the tacked on beginning.
So what about if it's a movie that was like originally shot in color and then changed to black and white, like Son of Frankenstein?
Well, they did that to Mad Max, but so there's a version of Son of Frankenstein you're saying that's in color, that was shot in color.
I thought I saw something that it was originally shot in color, but I know there's like color stills.
Because wasn't that one about the 50s ish when that came out?
Son of Frankenstein, I think was like in the 40s, like later, mid to late 40s.
I was gonna say it had to be later.
I know it was one of the Frankensteins, and I know that there's like color stills out there.
No, 39 is when it was from, and there's some color test and colorized like images, but
it was 39. Wow.
Yeah, that was back in the era.
I have to finish watching all the monster movies. I finally got that. Well, I didn't finally. I got that big box set that came out last year, and I just haven't watched them all yet.
I have a Hammer collection. I'm more of a Hammer guy than a Universal guy.
Hammer time.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up kind of on the, like, I'm sure like Mecca remembers they showed a lot of the Hammer movies. I think I say and stuff like that.
Yep.
I remember those, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah. I love them, but I haven't seen them.
I have Christopher Lee's biography. I love when he's talking about the Dracula movies. In each movie, he gets progressively more pissed off with, you know, how he doesn't want to come back.
See, that's not as well. Is that from the newer one? I can't.
No, that was when that was Horror of Dracula in '58.
No. I was talking about what Rob's showing. Sorry.
What?
I think that's from the newer one. Yeah, the newer one's not so bad. I mean, I don't know. Frank Capra, is that who directed it? Yeah.
Yeah.
If he'd really want it to be that way, so. I mean, I respect that if a director doesn't want it to have, and you know, Orson Welles would lose his shit if somebody colorized it.
What do you mean? Isn't that what happened? He went to war with like.
I think so. I think you're right.
He was dying, and he was still like saying, "I'm gonna kick your ass, you motherfucker, for touching one movie."
I'll throw frozen peas at you.
You can suck my green penis. I know I mentioned this before on a previous episode, but seriously, I like the frozen peas one, but I'm more partial to like Gallo wine. The French.
I had to watch that one after you brought it. Yeah,
it's
all right.
Yeah, it's probably the lowest of his entire career. Like, I made the greatest movie ever made. Now I'm a fat schlub using shitty wine and drunk, can't even say it right.
All right. Well, we've gone sufficiently off the rails. What do you say, Rob?
Isn't that every episode? Also, I found a bit about the color with Frankenstein that Mecca was talking about, which is According to the documentary Universal Horror, the film was intended to be shot in color, and some Technicolor footage was filmed, but for artistic or budgetary reasons, the plan was abandoned, and no footage survived.
I had my mic muted. I was trying to say that the problem with the colorization is not just the colorization process alone. You have to restore the film first.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do.
Important.
Yes. Otherwise, you're just trying to add color onto an old movie, which doesn't look. You have to do all the technical work to restore the film to the. You have to produce a new. Well, yeah, print. They don't do prints anymore, but you do have to correct. You have to remove all the artifacts and you have to all the stuff. You have to enhance everything digitally. You have to make it look like a movie that was just made, not just made, but you have to start with a good canvas first, rather than just trying to throw color on it.
Okay, Dark Saber. Yeah, I'm talking about the stuff with Christopher Lee. The first movie, yeah, he paid for it and he liked it, and he can come back for the second one. And the third one, they got him to come back for more money, and the fourth one, even more money. And the fifth movie, they started blackmailing him, saying, if we don't make the movie, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. And by the eighth movie, he went, oh, fuck the people, I don't even care anymore.
Oh, speaking of Orson Welles, Tom, should we do Transformers?
Oh,
there's Transformers news.
No.
Should we do classic, like the classic version of Transformers?
Oh, sure.
Watch
Why not?
Party. You get the touch, you get the
I know Andre's doing his editorial. That's why I got kind of distracted there. Sorry.
No.
All right. What do you say we wrap this up?
Last thing, also the comments are talking about Captain America: The First Avenger. That's my favorite one of the Phase 1.
Criminally underappreciated.
I know.
It is Professor Geek did a watch party of that. It is the classic hero's journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, unlike his other captain, who we shall not rename, we will not name.
Joe Wright would have made that in the 40s and made it awesome.
Where's Roger? Shit, I don't have my Roger effect up. Stretch while I put my Roger. Is
Really,
stop making excuses. Captain Marvel's not a good movie. It's getting harder for a lot of even its defenders to defend it now. Not to beat the Captain Marvel thing to death, but at the same, like I said, for an origin, take Captain America: The First Avenger, take Captain Marvel. One is the classic hero's journey. One is decidedly not. Captain America is a like I said in my review, great power, great responsibility. Nope. No hero's journey. No struggle. You were always awesome. It just somebody had to tell you how awesome you really are. It's everybody else's fault. Everybody else was keeping you down. For God's sake.
I always forget how good the cast of First Avenger was too, beyond just, Chris Evans, who became a revelation for Captain America. The entire cast is great.
Tommy Lee Jones and Haley Atwell. Oh my God.
Oh, Haley Atwell. I never heard of her before that movie and I fell in love instantly.
Giggity.
Oh,
I sat through the 4-episode miniseries version of Howard's End just because she was in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was good, but I'm like, yeah, Haley Atwell's in it. I'm gonna watch that.
Do you see the critic? We should all be happy here, living in Howard's End forever. You mean Howard Stern's End? I just want the deed. What do you think of that? You want to take your top off? Well, I never. You're like my wife. You say, but you never do. So
that would have been a very different movie.
Yes, that was, of course, Howard Stern's End. Oh.
Oh, you know that even the sorry.
I was going to say Critic Watch Party might be good, but there's only so much of that we can to go around.
Well, there's every episode Orson Welles is great.
I think every episode was great. If the critic,
the Rosebud Peas,
full of frozen goodness and green penis. Oh wait, that's terrible.
Everyone's like this is your family will, narrated by Orson Welles. Like, hello, I'm Orson Welles, and we're gonna talk about this is the mortuary tape. Like, it is. It's like,
all I get to say is just remember Brie Larson.
You're a whore.
Damn
Yes.
it, Nyla Shield. Now you have me thinking Haley Atwell is female Doctor Who, and now I want that.
Oh, I would tune into that every week.
Me too.
Just watch it with the sound. Just watch it with the sound off.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
So
Wish that woman had a bigger like filmography. Maybe we could have that in the watch party somewhere.
she was in the Sweeney. Did you see the Sweeney?
Of course I have.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I know of it. I haven't seen it. They did the guys from Top Gear tried to film the car chase scene, but they screwed it up royal. That was actually a really good episode.
Yeah.
All right, what do you
she was
think?
in a really good movie. She's a decent part of a all-rightish movie about Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, okay.
It's called like Jimmy All His Eyes by My Side is what it's called. She's his girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, who wouldn't want to date Haley Atwell?
Giggity, 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 giggity.
I don't know anybody.
I keep thinking of that scene of that beginning of season 7 of Archer, where he's in the pool and the two cops are talking about Veronica Lake, and that just keeps coming up. The line that they keep saying about Veronica Lake. Oh, in that movie, that dress, like that red dress she wore in Captain America. Holy cow! A woman always wears red if they want to draw attention to themselves. Isn't that right, Mecca?
Yeah,
the redhead.
usually, or it just kind of is a power play. It's like
It's
I'm
funny,
in charge.
I don't even think of that dress. I think of like the military outfit first. She looked really good in that too.
No, the red dress. Make the women always wear. When a woman wears red when she wants to stand out.
Heck, and she kicked ass. She was independent, but she was not, in your face about it.
Mm-hmm. Which makes her even hotter.
Giggity, 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 giggity.
She had her own damn TV show. That goddamn it, Marvel, why'd you got to cancel that shit?
I know. I watched that. That was good.
Yeah.
And I love the first episode. She was in the red hat and the blue suit. And the Captain America colors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Captain Marvel's the worst movie.
They always said the TV shows don't affect the movies affect the TV shows, but the TV shows don't affect the movies. That's not true. Agent Carter. Carter. They showed the girls the sleeper agents, the training for the Soviet sleeper agents.
Oh yeah, Black Widow 1.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, that was show. Yeah, that was a better show than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I'll freaking say it.
Yeah, it was.
Not as many seasons, but whatever.
I gotta get that on DVD.
I wish it was on Blu-ray. I don't think I ever made it that far.
I'll take whatever I can get. All right, kids. What do you say we wrap it up?
Yeah, that was our ode to Atwell.
Okay, kids. Like we would do, like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Head over to the main channel, like, subscribe, click the bell icon over there. Check us on Patreon, bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, my 10-minute stamp set, and more. You can support the channel for the littlest $1 a month, and if you don't have $1 a month to spare, like, subscribe, share with your friends, let the ads play. As always, we cannot do this without you. Mecca, tell them about yourself.
I am Mecha Random 42. I couldn't find my cursor when I went to unmute. That sucks. Don't you hate when that happens? You're like, where's my cursor? Where's my cursor? I complain about Star Wars, Star Trek, superhero movies, all the pop culture stuff, and SJW nonsense. So yeah, that's me. That's me.
That's right. Tyler?
I'm Tyler Bioshock, and you can find me on the Facebook group all the time. And I got my own podcast called the Peanut Butter Podcast, which I just recorded yesterday with the YouTube guy, Matt Brune. We talked about that TV show, Once Upon a Time, and how it's basically a fanfic shipper's wet dream.
Ah, gross, you sick bastard!
I mean, this is the show that had Mulan go after Aurora at one point.
Yeah,
it's that sort of show.
Damn it, not again!
All right. Okay. Tom?
I'm Kenny fucking Powers.
Damn right.
Damn right. Okay, kids. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a good day tomorrow. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Whatever.
Did you ever see that show,
Vice
Principal? Did you see that Vice Principal show that was basically Eastbound and Down for the teacher?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It was really good.
All right, kids. Hey, and now we're about 2 weeks out.
Shut up! I got my ticket.
Less than that.
It's next week.
Too.
A week.
All right. Yeah, a week. Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon. All right, kids. Yeah. All right, kids. Have a good night. We're gonna see you next time. Be good. Be excellent to each other.
I was wondering if you could make me a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh my God! Oh, you didn't understand?
No problem. See what happens when you piss me off? Ow! Eh! Ow! 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 Ow!
Oh my God! What the hell was that? Shut up! You had your finger in my ass! Hello. Dr. Birnbaum.